Oh, hi. JJ back again. We're going to be reupholstering chairs today. So we are going to take our old, I will insert a picture right here, our old chairs that have this white sort of fabric on it, and we are going to reupholster it. So come along. The first thing that you need to do is remove the seat from the legs. You do this by flipping it upside down and removing the screws underneath. I'm actually replacing the factory hex head screws with some Phillips head screws because it's a lot easier to find a Phillips head screwdriver rather than a hex head screwdriver, just in case I ever want to do this again in the future. My chair that you see here has 4 screws, so once I removed those 4 screws, the legs popped off and I was able to set this off to the side so I could continue on with my project. All right, so we're gonna leave this fabric on because there's really no point in taking it off, but it's just gross and dirty. So we're gonna cover it again with this fabric so it will match our color a little bit better. So we're just gonna cover over. Instead of taking this off, we're just going to go over it. All right, so some of the things that we're using is this power stapler because it will be a whole lot easier. That uses these staples, and we're just going to cut the fabric to fit, and then we'll go ahead and staple. So come and watch us. Okay, so we're putting this on here, and then we're just going to kind of measure and cut so that it will fit this, and then we'll go ahead and staple. Okay, so we've cut this square piece here, and now we're gonna just go and fit it and staple it and try and match these corners. So that will be fun. I'm trying to follow the pattern of this, so I'm gonna do this part first, and I think we might cut off on an angle right here so we can miter the edges, and then we'll go from there. First, as we are getting started here, I do want to start with a warning. Make sure that if you are going to be using power tools that you have a parent's permission and their supervision, because these are very, very powerful and they will hurt you and you will have to go to the hospital. So make sure that you have someone there that knows what they're doing. Now on to the project. We started out with a square, and then we realized that we had way too much fabric on the corners. So we did end up having to miter the corners, and it's a whole lot easier to do this before it's stapled onto the back. So don't do what we did and miter the corners first. And then we just started tucking and stapling and folding and trying to get it right. This was our first one, and so it was a little bit more loose than the others, but it still turned out really cute. You do want to make sure that you staple down any loose fabric so that it doesn't catch and rip the fabric that you just put on there. Then you want to reattach the legs. When you're reattaching the legs, make sure that the seat is straight, otherwise you'll have to do it again. Now moving on to the second chair. As you can see, I actually did it right this time, and I mitered the corners before I started stapling. This saves so much time and frustration, and it makes it so you can get the fabric a lot tighter. I am going to start and do it kind of like a present. I'm going to fold one side and staple it so that I have an anchor, and then flip it and do the parallel side, and so I can pull it really tight and make sure that I get that fabric really tight on that seat. It made it a whole lot easier to do it this way than going around in a circle, because I was able to pull and get that fabric snug against that seat. And then it was also easier to do the corners. What I did find out with the corners is if I folded the fabric on the back down and then the fabric on the top up, then I could get that straight line on the back of the seat and fold and tuck the other fabric that was bunching into it and make that seem a little bit better. The other thing that I found was really helpful is to do the corners first and then go back in and do the middle. By doing that, I was able to correct any pleats or bumps or excess fabric that I ended up having because these chairs were not exactly square, I did have a little bit of excess fabric in the middle as I was stapling. And so by doing the corners first, I was able to kind of pleat the fabric in the middle and staple it so that the pleats were on the back rather than on the sides and on the front. And I was able to get that really tight and then just stapled down that excess fabric. And then, as we did with the last one, we are going to reattach it to the legs. Here you can see my dad is reattaching it with the 4 screws that we took off. He's a lot more capable with a drill, so I let him do it so that it didn't take me 10 minutes, what would take him 5. So put those legs back on and you should be good to go. These chairs turned out so cute. I am so excited to have these around my dining table. One of my next projects is going to be covering and making a tablecloth for my dining room table so that it does match my other decor of the blacks and grays and whites. So I will film that for you guys so that you can see it, but I absolutely adore these chairs. They were so fun and so easy, and here is a before and after. They look so much better. Honestly, one of my favorite projects. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to see videos every Tuesday. We do crafts, DIYs, home decor, anything that we can make from stuff we have at home or anything that we can do together. Let's try it. Leave me a comment and we will try to get to it, and we'll fail together or we'll succeed together. We don't know what's going to happen. So leave a comment with things that you want me to try and we'll see if we can do it. We're great. We're going to do it. Otherwise, we'll leave you with our sign off. Make today great. Always be yourself. Keep loving life and don't forget to poop. Bye.